So, in the first place, we have the Second Amendment, and I am not in favor of repealing the Second Amendment. I'm not in favor of repealing any amendment, even if I didn't like it, although I can't say that I dislike any of them. If the people want to strike down the Second Amendment, that is going to take an amendment. I don't see that happening anytime soon. The problem with guns is really a problem with violence. This is a violent country. You know, people complain that there's too many people in prison, but when you've got a murder rate that's just so high and a violence rate, and now like here in California, they've passed laws. They put a proposition on the ballot that basically fooled everybody into, marketed people into voting for it, that made it so that people could commit crimes and not have any consequences, as long as the amount's under $1,000 or something. We had a vice president actually encouraging people to go out and riot. The looting of stores, the rioting and everything like that. We've got all over the country now, we've got people stealing catalytic converters. And most of the time, they're not going to get caught. And that's going to be a personal expense for people. It also increases the cost of living. So I'm back in a little bit of inflation there. It's getting harder to live. It's getting more expensive to live because of the losses, because where jobs are less secure, because of just the whole disruption from the last few years and the desire to tear it all down. So going back to it, when people feel less secure, they will often buy more guns. People are going to say, if the police aren't going to protect me, if you want to defund the police, then I'm going to fund my own arms. And I don't think that's a good thing. But what are you going to do? The government, by its action and inaction, by encouraging the wrong things, has caused people to be afraid for their lives and afraid for their property. And they will defend themselves. And then they'll say, well, a human life is worth more than property. And I agree. But that doesn't mean that you should just make theft legal and say, okay, now they can just steal your stuff whenever they want. I've had enough stuff stolen in my life, and it bugs me. For the people that run the country, and for the powers that are trying to drive the country into the direction they want by their contributions, by their financial control over the parties, for those folks, they can afford losses. They have a lot of money. But for a lot of us, if our catalytic converter gets stolen and we got to pay $3, $4, $5, even $1,000 to replace that thing, especially if they cut it off the pipes and they have to re-weld and put all that stuff on, that's major for us. That's a terrible thing. Anyway, people are trying to defend themselves. They're going to buy more guns. As society starts to fall apart, you're going to get more of this. We need to solve the driver, the core problem, and that's not the guns themselves. It's the motivations for buying guns. And the best thing to remove there is have the government do its job, enforce the law, and protect people so that they no longer feel that they have to get a gun to protect themselves. So I won't be looking to create any additional legislation for guns. Whatever's out there right now is fine. We got to solve our other social problem, which is where the government has caused this chaos and lack of personal safety.